Yeah, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Shew thy faith without thy works, and I will shew my faith by my works. James 2:18. So, copium in anime. I'm not going to hold you. This video was a long time coming, mainly for a few reasons. I don't understand why anime fans cope when it comes to certain stories or storylines. For example, right? You have Dragon Ball Super and its two different adaptations with two wildly different explanations. Don't even get me started on the movie continuity of Dragon Ball Super, which is this whole can of worms. People think that it's one cohesive story, and they'll make their stupid arguments making sure that it seems like it makes sense, when really it's more convoluted than you might even think if you just look at it on the surface level. Like literally, the manga and anime are so different, and then when you look at the anime movie adaptations, it tries to bridge the gap between it, but canonically it won't make sense to any storyline that you already set up separately. Like, it's so don't even get me started on the inconsistencies of all these new god forms and the absurdity of the god forms themselves that make no sense and are literally lazy. Almost every new transformation that Goku and Vegeta has obtained has just been a palette swap of a palette swap that doesn't even give homage to the original inspiration of the original inspiration. Like, it makes no sense to me on why people eat this stuff up, and people will buy it. And then you move on to JJK. Don't even get me started on JJK. 1 minute you have fans saying that the story isn't complex, then the story is complex. Then you need the fans that need every single thing explained to them, and then when they don't get every single thing explained to them, they get in their feelings and then they get mad at you. But then in that same light, say, oh, we don't need things to be explained to us. Cope. Please cope harder. Yes, you do. Because if you don't get it, you spaz out. It's bad writing because Gege chose to kill Gojo off screen. It's bad writing because it's that and the third. Like, what? Meanwhile, there's been other characters that died off screen or have very little relevance. Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? Anyway, moving on to Boruto and its power cliffing issue and the fans' many different attempts to cope and say that it's just as good as Shippuden or it's just as good as OG Naruto just because, oh, Boruto's edgy now and is overpowered. Same with anyone who was in his generation. That makes no sense. Like, literally, I cannot tell you the amount of people who make arguments and cope for why Boruto and all of his other cast are just so wildly powerful and how disrespectful the Boruto series is to its predecessor in almost every way possible. And people will sit here and pretend as if it's peak. Like, no, man. Like, what are we talking about here? Again, these are things that real people have made arguments about and have made videos about. People will cope and cry and say that Boruto is just as good just because Boruto's new design looks cool now. Like, never mind the story being retconned, never mind the fact that most of this doesn't make any sense, never mind the fact that literally Boruto's just getting turned into Dragon Ball at this point. Argue with your mother, and I just can't, bro. I really cannot, because you never get anything. And just to, run it back to JJK, bro, Sukuna fans piss me off the most, because I am a fan of Sukuna. Don't get it twisted. I love Sukuna. Don't get me twisted. But, bro, the copium people say for Gojo versus Sukuna is crazy to me. But y'all in these fucking names, bro. I'm not calling you this. I'm just gonna call you Fan 12. Anyway, bro really posted this video when JJK about to end. Duh, it's to get the best catalog of breaks that he be on. Anyway, peace. This man was getting hands and feet put on him, and no one wanted to admit it for months after the chapter, and even still to this day. It is so crazy to me how no one wants to just admit that Sukuna got washed in that fight. He was overpowered and outplayed everything he did to freaking Satoru. Like, and I don't get what's wrong with admitting that. It still doesn't mean that the fight isn't cool. The fight is still cool. Like, Sukuna is still cool. He just got mixed. Hold the L and move on. And don't even get me started on Gojo and Yuji fans who keep saying that Yuji is a perfectly good character and has no flaws in his writing, besides the fact that he gets sidelined a majority of the time in his own series. Like, what? Either that or he gets overshadowed by other characters. This isn't a fault of fan perception. This isn't because fans are too stupid to understand the nuances of JJK and the intricacies of the Jujutsu realm. It's simply put, other characters have more intrigue than the main character just because the writer made it so. People keep saying that, oh, Megumi wouldn't make sense to be the main character. Copium, if I've ever heard of it. When literally, how would you know? It's never been implemented in a writing format. How would you know something wouldn't work if the writer himself literally didn't plan for it yet? Like, you can't say that Megumi wouldn't work as a main character when you never seen him actually see in the main character role. What are we talking about here? Like, are we missing something here? Like, it's so ridiculous to me, bro. People will never acknowledge the issues with these storylines or issues with any of these anime that I listed because people just like it so much. Like, honestly, the inconsistencies that are in every single manga are there for a reason, to be critiqued. Not every series is perfect. Hell, I will argue no series is perfect because it's made by human beings, so it can't be perfect. I don't know, man. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of idiocy going around in the anime community, and it makes it hard to just be a fan of something without having to feel like you have to appease everyone from every freaking walk of life, and it's annoying. But anyway, that's just my take on the situation. Let me know yours in the comments below. Peace.